Now to the women's game, and in the course of her 16-year career, Beattie has won plaudits for her achievements off the pitch as well as on them. But today, the former Arsenal and Manchester City defender announced her retirement from the game altogether. She won 4 league titles with Arsenal and 1 with Manchester City, plus scored 24 times for Scotland, including during the 2019 World Cup in France on the same pitch that her father, Johnny Beattie, scored a try for Scotland. In 2020, though, Beattie was diagnosed with breast cancer. She recovered, however, to continue her career for another 4 years. I spoke to her earlier and began by asking what it was she would miss the most.
Honestly, for me, it's the day-to-day banter with teammates and having that sort of structure and sense of family. I moved away when I was 18, from Glasgow, away from friends, away from family, and I think sport and team is your automatic family. So definitely the day-to-day chat, being part of a team, being part of something bigger than yourself is something that I'll miss massively.
If you were to pick one highlight, which one would you pick out?
I think the Man City FA Cup at Wembley, 100%. There's so many moments, and then of course the Scotland game, scoring at Parc des Princes, same pitch my dad did for Scotland with scoring a try. I can't answer one.
You mentioned the friendships that you've made, and they set you in such good stead at some of your lowest moments, Jen, because when COVID hit and you found a lump and then going through radiotherapy on your own, but you weren't really on your own, were you? Because you had another family.
The one thing that's always been constant is teammates becoming family, and football has some really, really difficult moments, whether it be injuries or personal things that you go through. And I always count myself as being incredibly lucky with being surrounded by such amazing people, whether they've been older than me, younger than me, more experienced, less experienced. It's just been so special.
I'm thinking in particular 3 days after your diagnosis when you scored against Brighton, and your teammates at that point. I mean, what were they saying to you when they gathered around you?
Probably one of my favourite moments on the pitch. You know, I got diagnosed on the Thursday and played against Brighton on the Sunday, and all my teammates knew, but the public didn't. Nobody really knew what was going on or what was happening. And of course, COVID regulations and social distancing, that when I was diagnosed, nobody could hug me. No one could give that sort of physical support. So that moment of me scoring and hugging and celebrating is probably just the definition of a team coming together.
And it transcended just your team too, because then when you played against City, they all wore your name on the backs of their shirts.
I'll never forget, you know, that was the weekend that I was doing the awareness piece, and that's when it came out, and it just so happened that fixture was Man City. And I always feel, again, really lucky that was the weekend we chose to do it, because it was Man City is another team that means so much to me. I had some of my best playing days there, and again, lifted trophies and amazing memories, became the player I think, you know, developed so much there. So to walk out, and I had no idea what was happening, but to see the number 5s in pink for both teams, that meant so much. That in that moment I was just, you know, some things are so much bigger than football. No matter what I've done, you know, it's never really been about trophies or winning games when it comes to family. It's just about, you know, am I happy? Am I enjoying it? And that's all my dad, my mum, all my family would ever want. So that they've been incredibly supportive. I think they're obviously a little bit sad that it's an end of an era and, you know, there's no more coming to games. But to be a kid in a sporting family, to have had all of the advice I've had over the years has just been incredible.